The galaxy was wide, silent, and full of powerful empires. Thousands of planets were connected by space roads. Giant ships traveled every day. Advanced machines worked without rest. Artificial minds controlled cities. Energy weapons could destroy moons. In this great galaxy, many races lived. Some were tall and strong. Some were made of metal. Some could read minds. Some lived for hundreds of years. They all believed one thing. Humans were weak. Earth was a small blue planet at the edge of known space. It had oceans, forests, and noisy cities. But compared to other worlds, it looked old and simple. No giant space towers. No planet shields. No super AI rulers. Only humans. Talking. Arguing. Building. Failing. Trying again. To the galaxy, humans looked slow. Too emotional. Too divided. Too soft. The Galactic Council. In the center of the galaxy stood a massive station called the Galactic Council Hall. It was bigger than any city on Earth. Thousands of lights floated around it. Energy fields protected it. Warships guarded it day and night. Inside, leaders from hundreds of species met. They discussed war, trade, and power. On this day, a special meeting was happening. A large screen showed the image of Earth. Blue oceans, white clouds, green lands. A tall alien with silver skin spoke first. "Why is this planet even here?" he said. Another leader laughed. "They still use chemical rockets," she said. "No warp gates. No planet shield." A third one added, "They fight among themselves. They cannot even agree on simple things." Many leaders nodded. Some smiled. Some looked bored. Earth was not important. The report, a small robotic assistant floated forward. It showed data on the screen. Planet name Earth. Species humans, Terrans. Technology level low. Military level very low. Threat level none. The hall filled with quiet laughter. One leader said, "If war ever reaches them, they will disappear in one day." Another replied, "More like 1 hour." No one disagreed. Far away on Earth, while the galaxy laughed, Earth was busy living. In a small control center in North America, Commander Elias Ward stood in front of many screens. He was in his early 40s. Short brown hair, tired eyes, a calm face. He had spent 20 years in space defense. Most people did not even know his job existed. Earth had a small space force. Old ships, limited weapons, small budget. But Elias believed in one thing. Never underestimate danger. He looked at the screen. Unknown signals. Strange energy patterns. Long-distance movement. He frowned. "Run the scan again," he said. A young officer replied, "Yes, sir." The machines worked faster. Numbers changed. Lines moved. Then the screen flashed red. "Sir," the officer whispered, "these are not natural signals." Elias felt a cold feeling in his chest. Zoom in. The first shadow. High above Earth, beyond the moon, something moved. At first, it looked like dust, then light, then shadows. Huge shadows. One by one, massive objects appeared. Warships. Not one, not 10, hundreds. They came out of space like ghosts. Black metal bodies. Red glowing engines. Sharp edges. They blocked the stars. Satellites stopped working. Communication systems shook. On Earth, people looked up. Some thought it was a strange cloud. Some took pictures. Some felt fear. Panic begins. In major cities, alarms started. Emergency systems turned on. Phones buzzed. Screens showed warnings. Unknown space objects detected. Remain calm. Follow instructions. But people did not remain calm. Traffic stopped. People ran. Families called each other. News channels went live. Reporters spoke fast. "We are seeing massive objects near Earth." No official statement yet. Possible extraterrestrial contact. No one said the word war, but everyone felt it. Alien Command. Inside the largest alien ship, Supreme Commander Zarkith watched Earth. He was tall, 4 arms, golden eyes, dark armor. He had destroyed many worlds. Strong ones, advanced ones. Earth was nothing. Scan complete. An officer said, "No shield. No defense grid. No fleet." Zarkith smiled. "So this is a human home?" "Yes, Commander." He laughed. "They look like insects." Begin Phase 1. The first strike. Without warning, beams of red light shot from space. They hit satellites first. One by one, they exploded. Communication died. Navigation failed. Weather systems crashed. Then power stations. Then defense bases. Explosions lit the sky. People screamed. Buildings shook. Windows broke. Earth was under attack. The silent room. Back in the control center, Elias watched everything. His hands were shaking, but his voice was calm. "Send global alert. Activate emergency protocol. Wake all divisions." The officer looked scared. "Sir, we can't fight this." Elias looked at the screen. The enemy fleet was endless. "Our weapons are old," the officer said. "Our ships are few." Elias closed his eyes for 1 second. Then he opened them. "Yes," he said, "but we are still here." The hidden door, deep under a mountain, far from cities, was a secret base. Very few humans knew about it. It was built slowly over 50 years, layer by layer, hidden by rock, protected by silence. Its name was never spoken. Only code. Project Dawn Shield. Elias entered a long password. The door opened. Lights turned on. Massive machines woke up. Old systems mixed with new ones. Not perfect, not beautiful, but strong. A voice spoke. Authorization confirmed. "Welcome, Commander Ward." Elias whispered, "It's time." The secret file. On a central screen, files appeared. Names. Projects. Plans. Many were marked. Top secret. Humanity's last hope. Old scientists. Retired generals. Hidden engineers. They had prepared for this day. While the galaxy laughed, humans prepared. Not with pride, with fear, with patience, with hope. The enemy laughs. Zarkith watched the destruction. Earth burned in small fires. Cities went dark. Signals stopped. "Any resistance?" he asked. "None," replied the officer. "Just small movements." Zarkith waved his hand. "Crush them." A small signal. Suddenly, a weak signal appeared. From Earth. Very weak. Very old. Very simple. But real. "Commander," the officer said, "we detected activation underground." Zarkith raised an eyebrow. "Underground?" "Yes." He smiled. "Let them hide." The turning point begins. Inside the secret base, Elias stood with his team. Large screens showed the enemy fleet. People were scared. Some cried. Some prayed. Some clenched their fists. Elias spoke. "Today, the galaxy thinks we are weak. They think we will fall. They think we are nothing." He looked at every person. But they forgot one thing. We are human. We survive. We adapt. We fight. He pressed a button. Old satellites changed position. Hidden systems connected. Dormant weapons woke up. Data flowed like rivers. The base shook. Lights flashed. A deep sound filled the air. Project Dawn Shield was alive. A new signal. In space, Zarkith's screen flashed. A strange pattern appeared. Energy lines. Moving fast. Growing. "Commander, Earth is responding." He stared. "That's impossible." But it was happening. From a planet considered weak. Something was rising. Something unexpected. Something dangerous. The first beams of alien fire had already hit Earth. Satellites exploded like fireworks. Cities went dark. Panic spread faster than lightning. Yet, most humans didn't understand what was happening. They saw the sky streaked with red and orange lights. Some thought it was a rare meteor shower. Some thought it was a natural storm. Few realized that the universe itself had turned against them. The first panic. In Tokyo, alarms blared. In New York, streets flooded with cars as people ran aimlessly. In Nairobi, families huddled together, unsure what to do. News channels tried to report, but satellite failures made communication almost impossible. "Unknown, unknown, unknown," repeated the anchors in shock. Children cried. Dogs barked. People screamed. Fear had no language. It was universal. In a small village in Canada, an elderly man stared at the sky and whispered, "Are we really alone?" He didn't finish the thought. Nobody had answers. Earth's command center. Commander Elias Ward watched the chaos unfold on his screens. He had seen war before, on training simulations, in old news archives and theoretical drills, but nothing prepared him for this. He took a deep breath and said softly, "We must fight, not for glory, not for pride, for survival." His officers looked at him with fear in their eyes. "But sir," one said, "they are everywhere. Their weapons, they are unstoppable." Elias turned to him, voice calm but firm. "Then we become unstoppable too." The alien fleet approaches. High above, the alien commander Zarkith observed Earth. His golden eyes reflected the burning cities. He smiled. "Phase 2 begins," he said. Ships dropped closer. Giant energy cannons extended. Thousands of drones separated from the main fleet. They were fast, silent, relentless. Zarkith leaned over the control panel and murmured, "This world will fall in one day. 1 hour, maybe less." He did not see the hidden humans moving. He did not see the plan that had been decades in the making. He did not know that the planet he underestimated would fight back in ways no one had imagined. The first strike on Earth, the first ground attack began. Giant energy beams hit major cities. Buildings crumbled like sandcastles. Cars exploded. Fire spread quickly, consuming everything in its path. In Paris, the Eiffel Tower shook. In Cairo, the pyramids glowed with reflected fire from the sky. In Rio, the famous beaches burned under alien fire. Humans ran blindly. Fear paralyzed most of them. The streets were full of confusion. People screamed for their loved ones. Children cried in their parents' arms. But not everyone was paralyzed. Humanity's silent warriors. In hidden bunkers on mountains and underseas, humans prepared. Weapons long forgotten were activated. Old satellites began to rotate. Dormant defense systems came alive. Elias moved from screen to screen. His hands flew over controls like a pianist. Every small ship, every drone, every hidden weapon system synced with a single purpose: defend Earth. He knew they could not stop the aliens completely, but they could slow them. They could confuse them. They could survive long enough to make a difference. He whispered to himself, "We are the last chance, not just for ourselves, but for the galaxy." Global chaos. In every corner of Earth, the chaos was worse. In Los Angeles, cars collided on highways. People climbed over each other to escape. In London, the River Thames reflected fire from the sky as bridges collapsed. In Beijing, the Great Wall shook from underground explosions, remnants of hidden defense systems activating. The human mind cannot comprehend fear like this. The human heart cannot stop racing when everything you know is falling apart. Yet, some small acts of courage appeared. A man lifted a fallen child. A nurse pulled people from rubble. A soldier stayed behind to protect civilians while the enemy fire rained around him. It was terrifying, but humans did not give up. Alien confidence cracks. Back on Zarkith's ship, something unexpected happened. Sensors picked up unusual readings. Small satellites, hidden from detection, were moving. Old weapons thought useless began firing. He frowned. "Impossible," he growled. One officer reported, "Commander, they are activating their defenses." Zarkith's eyes narrowed. "Activate full attack. Crush them before they rise." But deep down, a question appeared. Small, almost invisible. Could these primitive humans survive this long? Human tactics. Elias's plan was simple. Use the enemy's strength against them. Small attacks. Hit and run. Confuse and retreat. Humans were too weak for direct combat, but they were smart. They used decoys. They used terrain. They used timing. Every small success built hope. Every failure taught a lesson. One small squad of ships approached an alien drone fleet. They were far outnumbered. They looked weak, but they split and moved through the drones' blind spots. Drones destroyed each other by accident. Humans escaped. Each small victory mattered. Fear and hope intertwined. On the streets, People saw things they could not understand. A satellite fired from the sky, hitting an alien ship. A small group of humans defended a city, forcing aliens to retreat. Smoke cleared to show human flags waving. Some cheered, some cried. Some didn't understand how or why it happened. Elias watched all this unfold on the screens. A small smile appeared, not because the war was won, but because humans were fighting back. Surprise attack. In the mountains of South America, hidden bunkers activated. Missiles, previously invisible, shot into the sky. Alien ships exploded in bright fireballs. Small human forces guided each missile with precision. The aliens, who believed humans were weak and slow, began to hesitate. Small errors appeared in their strategy. Small mistakes. Small cracks. Zarkith noticed. He growled, "How are they doing this?" The humans on Earth did not have superweapons. They did not have centuries of technology. They had something else. Heart, courage, and determination. Humanity's secret weapon. Deep underground. In Project Dawn Shield, Elias activated the final system. A massive energy field emerged. It connected satellites, drones, and hidden weapons. All power flowed to one purpose: protect Earth. The first alien ship that entered the energy field was slowed. Its weapons malfunctioned. Others followed. Some ships collided. Chaos spread through the alien fleet. Humans had bought themselves time. Elias looked at the glowing screens. His voice was calm, yet firm. This is only the beginning. The alien shock. Zarkith stared at the battle from above. He had never expected resistance. He had never expected tactics. He had never expected humans to survive, let alone fight back. His officers were terrified. Errors were multiplying. The enemy fleet, confident minutes ago, now hesitated. "Commander," one said, "they are adapting." Zarkith's eyes burned. "Adapt," he spat. "Impossible. They are primitive." But deep down, he knew something frightening. Humans were not as weak as he thought, and the galaxy would soon witness it. A new hope. On Earth, small groups of humans, previously terrified, began to understand something. They could fight. They could survive. They could protect each other. Every small victory brought hope. Every life saved mattered. Every strike against the alien fleet, no matter how small, was proof. Earth was not finished. Elias turned to his officers. "We are primitive in their eyes, but we are alive, and we are ready." The sky over Earth was still burning. Smoke and fire covered cities like a blanket. People had already lost hope. Streets were empty, buildings shattered, and yet, somewhere deep underground, humanity's real strength was waking up. The secret awakens. In a hidden mountain bunker, Commander Elias Ward paced in front of a massive console. The lights reflected on his tired face. Every line increased told a story of long nights and hard battles. "Phase 2 is ready," he said quietly. Engineers and soldiers looked at him nervously. Some whispered prayers. Some checked weapons for the 100th time. Elias turned to the main screen. It showed the alien fleet hovering above Earth. Ships like mountains, glowing red with energy. Ships that had destroyed hundreds of cities in hours. Yet he did not flinch. He pressed a button. Suddenly, the bunker hummed with life. Hidden satellites rotated. Long dormant weapon systems lit up. Old war machines stirred like giants from a forgotten age. This was Project Dawn Shield, humanity's last secret. The first strike of the unknown. Above Earth, alien drones began their usual patrol. They scanned for resistance. They found nothing, or so they thought. A satellite, invisible to alien sensors for decades, moved silently. It fired a concentrated beam. A drone exploded midair. Zarkith blinked at the screen. "What is that?" he roared. Another beam hit a different ship. Then another. The alien fleet faltered for the first time. Humans were striking back, not with massive numbers, not with brute force, but with precision and intelligence. Human ingenuity. Elias walked among the team, checking each station. A young engineer named Mara pointed to the screen. "Commander, if we redirect energy through these satellites, we can overload their shields." Elias nodded. "Do it, now." Within minutes, Beams of concentrated energy moved like invisible snakes through the sky. Alien ships tried to adjust. They fired weapons blindly. But every attack missed. Every shot wasted. A small fleet of human fighters, ancient ships retrofitted with modern tech, appeared. They darted between alien ships. Fast, silent, deadly. The aliens panicked. They had never faced an enemy like this. Zarkatha's jaw tightened. Impossible. These humans, how are they still alive? A civilian's courage. Meanwhile, on the surface, not all humans were hiding. In the ruins of New York, a young woman named Layla led a group of survivors through shattered streets. Her father had died in the first attack. Her brother was missing, yet she refused to run. She had found a hidden human weapon, an old energy launcher from a secret government facility. She loaded it carefully. Her hands shook. Her heart raced. Above her, an alien scout ship hovered. It scanned the streets. It saw movement. Layla aimed. She fired. The scout exploded in a brilliant flash. The survivors cheered. It was a small victory, but in a world full of despair, it was everything. The unexpected allies. Back in the hidden bunkers, Elias received a strange signal. It was weak, encrypted, ancient. It came from space, but not from Earth. "Commander," said a technician, "I think another species is trying to contact us." Elias frowned. "Are they enemies?" The technician shook his head. "No, they want to help." The signal revealed coordinates of hidden caches of alien technology, abandoned on nearby moons and planets. Weapons, shields, and data, everything that could turn the tide of war. Elias smiled faintly. "Prepare a retrieval team. This changes everything." Alien confusion. Zarkith watched the battle unfold from his command ship. Ships exploding. Energy beams missing their targets. Small human fighters striking fear into his ranks. He gritted his teeth. "Commander, focus all fire on Project Dawn Shield. Destroy it now." But every strike failed. Every attack backfired. The humans were not just offending. They were hunting the aliens strategically. He began to feel something he had never felt before. Doubt, fear, panic. For the first time, he realized that humans were unpredictable. And unpredictability in war could be deadly. The hidden fleet emerges. From the depths of Earth's oceans, another surprise emerged. Old submarines, refitted with alien tech captured long ago, launched silently. They surfaced just beneath the alien ships. Missiles fired upward, exploding on contact. Aliens had expected humans to fight on land, not underwater. Their fleet staggered. Ships collided. Systems malfunctioned. Elias observed every move. His eyes were calm. He had anticipated this. Every human weapon, every maneuver, every surprise was part of a plan decades in the making. The heart of humanity. In the midst of chaos, civilians and soldiers alike showed courage. Children helped the wounded. Teachers guided students through debris. Doctors worked without rest. Each small act of bravery fed into the larger plan. Elias knew something the aliens could not understand. Humans were more than weapons. They were heart, courage, and resilience. No machine, no superweapon, no alien intellect could replicate that. The first real shock. A massive alien cruiser, one of the largest in the fleet, advanced toward Project Dawn Shield. Zarkith was confident it would crush humanity's defense. But as the cruiser approached, human satellites locked onto its weak points. Energy beams struck from multiple angles. Its shields overloaded. Engines failed. The cruiser crashed onto Earth's surface, exploding in a massive fireball. Across the globe, people witnessed it. Alien dominance, thought unbreakable, was being challenged. Even Zarkith could not hide his shock. How is this possible, he muttered. The turning tide. From that moment, the war shifted. Humans no longer just defended. They attacked. They used every hidden weapon, every strategy, every weakness they had discovered in the alien fleet. Alien ships fell one by one. Systems overloaded. Commanders shouted in confusion. On the ground, survivors joined in. They fired at small alien drones. They sabotaged supply lines. They helped soldiers repair weapons mid-battle. The galaxy which it called humans weak, would soon learn how wrong it had been. Elias's final move for Part 3. Deep in the bunker, Elias activated a final secret command. A massive energy pulse surged through Earth's hidden networks. It connected all satellites, all weapons, all systems, like a giant spider web of fire and light. Alien ships hit it one by one. Their shields failed. Engines exploded. The fleet scattered in chaos. Elias stood, watching the glowing screens. This is only the beginning, he said softly. He knew the war was far from over. But for the first time, humanity had proven something undeniable. They were clever. They were resilient. They were dangerous. And Part 3. The alien fleet was wounded. Earth was still burning. Humans were still fighting. And the galaxy watched in disbelief. From the edge of space to the ruins of Earth, one truth became clear. Humans were no longer primitive. They had awakened their hidden power. And the universe would never underestimate them again. The alien fleet hovered over Earth like dark clouds before a storm. For hours, humanity had been on the defensive. Cities burned. Satellites exploded. Systems failed. And yet, humanity had survived. Now, Commander Elias Ward knew it was time for the next step. Turning defense into offense. The calm before the storm. Deep in the secret bunker, Elias studied the alien fleet's movements. He tapped his console. Red blips danced across the screen. Hundreds of alien ships. Some were massive cruisers built to crush entire cities. Some were sleek drones, fast as lightning. Beside him, Mara, the young engineer, spoke softly. "Sir, their fleet is large. If we attack directly, we will lose everything." Elias nodded. "We will not attack directly. We will use their overconfidence against them. Every weapon system, every hidden drone, every old satellite had a role. Every human had a role. It was a chess game, and Elias held all the pieces. Coordinated strikes. On the surface, humans prepared for the first real counterattack. Small fighter ships rose from hidden launch pads. Old war machines, once thought obsolete, rolled out from underground bunkers. Missiles, guided by intelligence collected during the earlier attacks, locked onto alien weak points. Elias pressed a button. Satellites fired coordinated energy beams. Alien drones, used to free reign, suddenly faced precision strikes from multiple angles. They exploded in clouds of fire. For the first time, humans were not running. They were controlling the battlefield. The alien confusion. Zarkatha's golden eyes widened as the reports came in. "What is happening?" he roared. His officer replied, "They are attacking. Coordinated strikes from all directions." Zarkatha's voice became sharp, almost desperate. "Impossible. Humans are weak. They should be broken." But the fleet was faltering. Small human fighters darted through their formations. Energy beams overloaded their shields. Missiles struck cruisers. Drones collided midair. The alien fleet began to scatter. The unexpected hero. Far below in a ruined city, a young man named Kieran led a small team of civilians turn soldiers. Their weapons were old. Their armor was patched. Their courage was raw. They spotted an alien energy relay, controlling drones in the sky. Kieran pointed. "If we destroy that, the drones will crash." The team moved carefully. They avoided debris, fire, and alien patrols. They reached the relay. Kieran fired. The relay exploded in a blinding flash. Drones fell from the sky, like leaves in a storm. Above, humans in the sky cheered. The tide of battle was shifting. The secret weapons. In the oceans, submarines armed with alien tech attacked silently. Ships that had once seemed invincible were now crippled. Underwater energy pulses disabled shields. Hidden torpedoes exploded beneath massive cruisers, throwing them into chaos. Elias watched it all unfold. His voice was calm, but his eyes shone. This is the true power of humans. The aliens had expected a primitive species. Instead, they faced strategy, intelligence, and courage combined. Alien panic. Zarketh barked orders. Focus on Earth Center. Destroy the command bunker. But the humans were always one step ahead. Every strike was anticipated. Every trap was avoided. Every counterattack was devastating. The alien commanders began blaming each other. Mistakes multiplied. Chaos spread. For the first time, the invincible fleet felt fear. Civilian courage. On the ground, civilians continued to amaze. In London, a group of volunteers used old trucks to transport weapons to frontline soldiers. In Cairo, engineers repaired energy grids to provide power to hidden weapons. In New York, children carried supplies for medics through the streets. Every small act mattered. Every human contributed. The aliens could not understand it. They had never seen a species so united in the face of death. A critical move. Elias studied the alien fleet's patterns. He noticed a massive weakness, a blind spot in their formation. He called Mara over. If we can hit this point, the entire fleet will collapse. Mara nodded, typing furiously. Missiles were loaded. Satellites were redirected. Hidden fighters prepared for the strike. Now, Elias said, the first missile fired. It struck the blind spot perfectly. A chain reaction followed. Alien ships exploded one by one. Energy beams misfired. Cruisers collided. Drones fell like stones. The galaxy watched in disbelief. The alien shock. Zarkith slammed his fist on the console. How is this possible? He screamed. An officer stammered. They are humans, sir. They are fighting back. Zarkith's golden eyes burned with rage. Destroy them all, he roared. But his fleet was broken. His commands were ignored. His strategy had failed. For the first time, he realized humans were not weak. They were unstoppable. The turning tide. Across the globe, humans pushed forward. Cities once lost were reclaimed. Energy shields protected key zones. Missiles struck alien ships mid-flight. Drones fell from the sky. Elias smiled faintly. This is a turning point. He knew the battle was far from over. But for the first time, humanity controlled the fight. A personal battle. Above the battlefield, Kieran's small team faced a massive alien ship. They were outnumbered, outgunned. Yet, they did not hesitate. Using clever tactics, they lured the ship into a trap. Hidden mines detonated. The ship exploded in a shower of fire. Kieran looked up at the sky and whispered, "We are not weak. We are humans." A galaxy in shock. Far beyond Earth, other civilizations watched. A species that had once called humans primitive now saw a planet alive with courage, strategy, and power. They whispered among themselves, "Humans, they are different. Stronger than we imagined." Perhaps the galaxy underestimated them. Elias knew the aliens had underestimated humanity, and that mistake would cost them dearly. The smoke in the sky had begun to clear. Cities were in ruins. Streets were littered with debris. Fires still burned, but the relentless assault of alien warships had stopped. For the first time in weeks, Earth felt quiet. The aftermath. Commander Elias Ward stood on a high platform in the Central Command bunker. His eyes scanned the reports. Satellite feeds showed scattered alien ships retreating into deep space. Drones destroyed. Cruisers sunk. The enemy fleet had lost the battle. Yet, Elias felt no triumph. He thought of the lives lost, of families shattered, of children who had screamed in fear. He turned to Mara and whispered, "We won, but at what cost?" She nodded silently. Both knew that victory was just the beginning of rebuilding, of healing, of proving to the galaxy that humans were worth respect. The world awakens. Across the globe, people cautiously emerged from shelters and ruins. Some wept for lost loved ones. Some hugged friends they had feared were gone. Some simply stared at the sky, trying to process what had happened. Yet, amidst grief, there was pride. Humans had survived an impossible enemy. Humans had fought back against the strongest fleet in the galaxy. Even children noticed. They looked at adults differently now. They realized that humanity was more than fragile, more than ordinary. They were warriors. Messages across the stars. Far from Earth, the remaining alien fleet regrouped. Zarkith, the supreme commander, looked at the damage in silence. He had expected an easy conquest. He had expected primitive humans to bow. He had not expected this. For the first time, he felt fear, not for his life, but for his pride. He activated a communication beam. The message was simple. "Earth, Humans formidable. You have earned the respect of the galaxy. His golden eyes softened. For all his arrogance and power, he now understood. Underestimating humans was a mistake that had cost any civilization dearly. Human leaders unite. On Earth, world leaders gathered at the newly established Global Reconstruction Council. Elias Ward was invited as a hero. He stood tall, though fatigue weighed heavily on him. The leaders bowed not just to his position, but to his courage and leadership. Elias spoke, his voice calm but powerful. Today, humanity showed the universe what we are capable of, not because we are the strongest, not because we have the most weapons, but because we never give up, because we fight for each other, because we believe in survival, in hope, and in courage. Applause erupted. It was not just approval. It was recognition. The survivors, in cities that had been completely destroyed, humans began to rebuild. Layla, who had fought in New York, helped establish medical centers in ruined neighborhoods. Kieran, the young hero from the streets, trained new defense teams to protect the cities. Mara, the engineer, worked tirelessly to rebuild communication networks, ensuring no signal would ever be lost again. Every survivor contributed. Every human mattered. Even those who had hidden or fled now returned to help. The planet that aliens called primitive had demonstrated unity, courage, and intelligence beyond imagination. Recognition from the galaxy. News of Earth's resistance spread like wildfire across space. Other civilizations, who had once laughed at humans, now watched carefully. They began sending envoys, offering alliances, trade, and technology. Some even offered apologies for underestimating a planet so small, yet so mighty. Elias watched one of the holographic messages from a distant world. He smiled faintly. "The galaxy finally sees us," he said softly. "But they do not yet know what humans are truly capable of." A moment of silence. As the sun rose over the damaged cities, a moment of silence swept the world. People lit candles, prayed, held hands. They remembered those who had fallen. Soldiers, civilians, families, children. Elias walked through one of the destroyed cities. He saw broken buildings, shattered streets, and scorched trees. Yet, amid the ruins, he also saw hope. Small gardens sprouting, children playing cautiously, people helping each other rebuild. He whispered, "We survived, and we will thrive." Humanity's new era. The battle had changed everything. Earth was no longer seen as weak. Humans were no longer considered primitive. They were a species that could endure. They were a species that could fight back. They were a species that could surprise the galaxy itself. Elias and his team began planning for the future. Not just defense, but exploration, alliances, and understanding. The war had shown humanity their true potential. They were ready to lead, not just survive. A personal reflection. That night, Elias stood alone on a high balcony, looking at the stars. The silence of space was overwhelming. The moon reflected the first light after weeks of fire. He thought of the people he had lost, the friends who had fought beside him, the civilians who had become warriors in their own right, and he thought of the future. For all the pain, all the fear, all the loss, one truth remained. Humans were no longer weak. They were extraordinary. A small smile appeared on his face. "We have earned it," he whispered. "Respect, courage, and the right to claim their place among the stars." The last message. From deep in space, a final transmission arrived. It was from Zarkith. Simple, brief, and sincere. "Humans, you have my respect. The galaxy will remember this day." Elias allowed himself a deep breath. It was more than words. It was proof that humanity's perseverance, intelligence, and courage had finally been recognized, and the universe, vast and infinite, would never doubt humans again. End of story. The blue planet, once considered primitive, now stood tall among the stars. Its people, scarred but unbroken, had rewritten history. The galaxy had learned a lesson it would never forget. Never underestimate humans. Never doubt their courage. And never assume they are weak. The war had ended. The respect had been earned. The future, full of unknown challenges, awaited. And humanity, for the first time, was ready to meet it.